In this video, let's see how we can add Angular material to an Angular application. Now, before I show you how to do that, I want to tell you that for this course, we will be closely looking at the documentation. And that is for two reasons. First one is to stay updated with the changes. There will be future releases of Angular material, and it is safe to rely on the documentation as it is constantly updated. The second reason is to know the directives that have to be used for the different components. When we start writing code, we need to import certain components, and it is next to impossible to know the component names without referring to the documentation. So make sure you have a tab open for the docs while you're following the videos. Alright, with that, let's see how to add Angular material to an Angular application. From the navbar, I am going to navigate to the guides section of the documentation. Here you can see the Getting Started heading as well as the Schematics heading. Both these sections contain information on how to install Angular material depending on the version of your Angular application. The Getting Started section contains about 6 different steps which you have to go through to set up material in your Angular application. And this is only if your project is below version 6. For this series, we will be working with Angular version 7. So I will demo how to add material with CLI schematics, which is valid for Angular version 6 and above. Now in the terminal, when I run the command ng-version, you can see that I have Angular CLI version 7. If you are at a lower version, please make sure to update it before creating a new project. Alright, now what I have done is created a brand new project using the command ng new material-demo. Material-demo is the name of the project we will be working with. And of course, I have opened that project folder in VS Code. Next, to set up Angular material, make sure you navigate into the project folder and run the command ng add @angular/material. When we run the command, it is going to ask us an option for the theme. I'm going to stick with Indigo Pink. Next, it checks with us for Hammer.js for gesture recognition. I will simply go with yes for now. Next, browser animations. Again, yes. And that is pretty much all you have to do. You are ready to start using Angular material in your application. Now this was possible because Angular material is packaged with CLI schematics. What that means is that the Angular team provided us with a single command that will handle setting up material in your application. Let's take a look at the differences to see what changes were made by running the command. First up, angular.json. The only difference is the inclusion of a CSS file in the styles array. And this is the Indigo Pink theme which we opted for. The next file is package.json. Here you can see that Angular CDK and Angular material have been added to the list of dependencies. Next, we also have updates to the package lock.json file. And then we have index.html. Here, 2 references have been added. One to material icons and the other to Roboto font. In main.ts, there is the inclusion of Hammer.js. In styles.css, there is some CSS reset that has been added to the body tag. Finally, in app.module.ts, we are importing the browser animations module and adding it to the imports array. Now, if you're doing this manually, make sure to add it after the browsers module. So the command basically adds project dependencies, includes them in the module, and sets up the style and theme for your Angular application. To test if it is actually working, let's use materials button component. there are 3 simple steps. First step, import it in app.module.ts. Import mat button module from Angular/material. Second step, add it to the imports array. Third step, use it in the HTML. So in app.component.html, wipe out the existing HTML and add a button tag with the text hello world, but also with the directive mat-button. Now let's run the application. In the terminal, run the command ng serve-o. In the browser, you can see that we have a button that says hello world, which is styled with Angular material. Let me change the directive to mat raised button. Go back to the browser and you can see the subtle difference. The button is now raised. So the material library is working perfectly fine. You're probably thinking, how would I know to use mat button or mat raised button, right? Well, it's pretty simple. I refer to the documentation. Like I mentioned, it is kind of a necessity for this particular course. There is just no way that we can know what directive has to be used for which component. This was a simple getting started video, and that is the reason I used a simple button component without referring to the documentation. In the upcoming videos, we will be referring the documentation more often. Alright, there you go. Angular material working in your Angular application. All we had to do was run the command ng add @angular/material in the CLI project. In the next video, let's set up the material module. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.